Take a look at this scene.
Why couldn't I save her? I know I could have.
You're not all powerful.
Well, I should be. Someday I will be. I will be the most powerful Jedi ever. But the women and the children too, they're like animals, and I slaughtered them like animals. I hate them.
To me, this encompasses some of the things that the prequels did wrong, specifically regarding Anakin Skywalker and Hayden Christensen's performance. And though I recognize that these are not very good movies, I did grow up watching them. I also clearly remember that I got the episodes 1 and 2 special edition DVDs for Christmas in 2004 when I was 9. These were very important movies for me. They were the ones that really got me into cinema from a very early age. So they hold a very special place in my heart. It wasn't until I grew up a bit and got into internet culture that I started reading about how bad the prequels were. And it was blasphemy to me because I thought episode 3 was the greatest movie ever made. And I actually watched it a lot on cable as I was growing up, even though I had the DVD. When I started studying film in high school, I came to the realization that in fact the prequels were not very good movies. And I spent the better part of my teenage years without watching any of them. Maybe catch parts of them sometimes on cable, but my physical copies certainly got dusty with time. It wasn't until I got to college that I purchased the complete Blu-ray collection, and I sat down with a friend to marathon all of them because he hadn't watched them. And I was watching episode 2 for the first time in years, and I realized something very, very important. This was probably the first time that I watched this movie in English. Born and raised in Venezuela, I grew accustomed to watching dubbed movies on cable, and it wasn't until I turned 13 or so that I really insisted in watching more movies outside of my intended demographic. But I lost interest in episodes 1 and 2 by that age, so I never took the time to watch them in their original language. Going back to this scene,
Well, I should be.
this is when I realized it.
Someday I will be. I will be the most powerful Jedi ever. I promise you. I will even learn to stop people from dying.
Anakin.
It's all Obi-Wan's fault. He's jealous. He's holding me back.
This scene is supposed to be very emotional, with Anakin confessing to the slaughter of an entire tribe of Tuscans and laying out his grief for his mother's death. Instead, it feels like a kid throwing a tantrum. All of the hate this actor gets can be explained away in this scene. His voice sounds whiny and mature, a bit annoying really. But when I used to watch this movie on repeat, this is how this scene played out for me.
Hay cosas que nadie puede reparar. No eres todopoderoso.
Lo seré pronto. Seré todopoderoso. Pronto seré el Jedi más poderoso de la historia. Te lo prometo. Incluso haré que no vuelva a morir la gente.
Anakin.
Obi-Wan tiene la culpa. Está celoso. Él me tiene atado.
I think this version of Anakin fixes a lot of the problems with Hayden Christensen's performance. I think Christensen is a relatively good actor with great physicality, but his voice really ruins it. This dubbed version by Mexican actor Erwin Dayan sounds menacing, strong, and potent. For further proof, take a look at this scene.
I have failed you, Anakin. I have failed you.
I should have known the Jedi were plotting to take over.
Anakin, Chancellor Palpatine is evil!
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Well, then you are lost!
I've heard infinite mocking of this whole sequence, particularly this scene and dialogue exchange. Now listen to this.
Te he fallado, Anakin. Te he fallado. Debí imaginar que los Jedi pretendían tener el control. Anakin, el canciller Palpatine es malvado. Desde mi punto de vista, los Jedi lo son. ¡Estás desorientado!
As I said before, I do think Hayden Christensen is a decent actor. Look at him. When he's not talking, he's terrifying. Maybe get some vocal coaching. I'm not saying the Spanish dub makes these movies good, because it doesn't. But it certainly masks one of the most jarring aspects of them. And it let me grow up with the notion that this trilogy was the greatest thing to ever happen to cinema.